Do you ever feel under any kind of pressure or any kind of prejudice? I mean, golf's quite often seen as an upper class white game. Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel that at all?
Every time I go to a major country club, always feel it. You can always sense it. People are always staring at you. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. When I go to Texas or Florida, you always feel it because they're saying, "Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here." And that's probably because that's where all the slavery was. So, oh well.
So do you feel in some ways that you can help change that if you became like the next Jack Nicklaus type figure or the next Tom Watson, that maybe that would re-educate people?
Since I'm black, it might be even bigger than Jack Nicklaus. I might be even bigger than him. I may be sort of like a Michael Jordan in basketball or something like that.
Okay, and again, if you have one ambition, say one tournament to win, what would it be? What's the tournament that really captures your imagination?
The Masters.
Why is that?
The way the blacks have been treated there. They shouldn't be there, and if I win that tournament, it'll be really big for us.
And people, of course, think you're the big sports star, so you're immune to any social issues. Unfortunately, you just had an incident. Somebody spray paints the N-word across the gate of your house in Los Angeles. This is where you live in the summer. Yeah. This is where your children sleep. What did it feel like to you?
Surprising, no. Because I still understand how race plays a huge part in America. And for me to be sitting here on the eve of the finals, one of the biggest sporting events in the world, and I have to answer questions about racism, it just lets me know that it's still here, and we should all know that. And if it takes for someone to spray paint my gate and use that derogatory term, that hate on my family, to shed a light on what the real issue is in the world, then so be it. And I think, and I sit here and say that I believe that's why, women like Emmett Till's mom left the casket open and showed everybody in the world what her son went through because of hate. So, I look at it and it hurts, and it's like unfortunate, and I got to sit here and I got to talk to my kids about what it means to grow up being an African American, a black kid in America. If that can shed light on the whole situation, and we can continue the conversation, because no matter how much money you got, no matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, at the end of the day, being a black man in America is very frightening, and it lets us know that we got so much further to go to be equal in this country.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we will see a few clips of different black athletes talking about racism in sports and in the world in general. But the focus will be on Lewis Hamilton and how he has chosen to take a stand in Formula One. Also, we'll be looking at some of the backlash that he has gotten from the media and other sources, and there will also be responses to that backlash. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and subscribe.
And you see, as a black person, Lewis understands the struggle for people of colour when it comes to sports and entertainment, both industries in which they're notoriously underrepresented. Lewis understands black oppression. That's why with Mercedes, he's become Formula One's most ardent torchbearer for Black Lives Matter.
The Black Lives Matter protest, I could not stay silent. In terms of systemic racism, it is all over the place.
Once again displaying such impressive levels of self-delusion that he sees no contradiction whatsoever in supporting a violent revolutionary Marxist organisation that's sworn to destroy capitalism.
Matthias Brunner, Speedweek.com. Lewis, there is some grey area between pointing a finger, rightly so, at injustice and a political statement. So I'd like to know, after Mugello and your Breonna Taylor t-shirt, what is the vibe you get from the FIA? What is okay and what is not?
I have no idea. I've not spoken to them. So, what was really positive is the support that I got from the fans. I think the fans have been amazing. And I don't regret a single moment of it. I felt like I usually follow my heart and do what I feel is right, and I felt that that was me following my heart. I did something that's never really happened in Formula One, and obviously they'll stop it from happening moving forwards. But I think sport, people do talk about sport not being a place for politics, and ultimately it's human rights issues. And in my opinion, that is something that we should be pushing towards. We have a huge collective group of amazing people that watch our sport from multiple different backgrounds and cultures, and we should definitely be pushing positive messages towards them, especially for equality. And so, you push towards driver road safety. That's also, you could say, that's almost human rights also. So I don't know what they're going to do this weekend, but I mean, lots of rules have been written for me over the years, but that hasn't stopped me. So, but what I will do is just continue to try to work with Formula One and with the FIA to make sure the messaging is right. Could it be better? Of course, it could always be better, but that's a part of the learning curve.
While being the poster boy for a hyper-capitalist industry with an annual revenue generation of $4 billion. Also quite ironic that Formula One heiress Petra Ecclestone literally said that due to an explosion in violent crime, she had to flee London. A city where Black Lives Matter so much. 73% of knife offenders and 53% of victims are from a black or ethnic minority background. But see, as a black man, Lewis is so oppressed that Mercedes gave him a contract for just £60 million a season. I know, the struggle is real.
Another ungrateful black multimillionaire. Ungrateful to whom? I'm fascinated by that concept. People always say, ungrateful to whom? This idea that black people should be grateful is some sneaky ass racism. Yeah, because when a white billionaire spends a year screaming that America is a disaster, he's in touch with the country. But when a black man kneels quietly, he should be grateful for the successes America has allowed him to have?
Aside from his 15 supercars, Lewis has been so discriminated against that he has to make do with an £18 million 6-bedroom London mansion and a £32 million 6,547 square foot New York penthouse, and an apartment in Switzerland with a view of Lake Geneva, and a £30 million apartment in the tax haven of Monaco. So oppressed. I mean, just how hard done by would you feel as a person of colour to be sitting on a net worth of only $285 million? So oppressed. If a black dude rapidly rising to the top of a cutthroat industry to become a multi-time world champion doesn't suggest that we're living in a post-racist era, I don't know what does.
Yeah, but you see, you still haven't told us the right way for black people to protest. I mean, we know it's wrong to do it in the streets. It's wrong to do it in the tweets. You cannot do it on the field. You cannot do it if you've kneeled. And don't do it if you're rich, you ungrateful son of a bitch. Because there's one thing that's a fact. You cannot protest if you're black.
So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
We will definitely not shut up and dribble. I would definitely not do that. I mean too much to society. I mean too much to the youth. I mean too much to the to so many kids that feel like they don't have a way out, and they need someone to help lead them out of the situation they're in.
Really about educating yourself. I think there are people that, what's been difficult during this time is you see people posting or taking a moment out to post about the Black Lives Matter, but they're not really acting on it. And some people jump on the bandwagon, but in that, it's just encouraging people. I'm trying to encourage my friends. Trying to encourage family members not to be silent, to, as I said, to educate themselves, read up. There's been a long line of these things, this happening for such a long time. And whilst it kind of, this thing started, the catalyst of this was in the States, by no means is it not around all of Europe, obviously in a different way, but it's all across Europe, all across the world. So if you can, I think, as I said, speak up for people of color like us, we learned through personal experiences. So sharing those experiences so people understand. And you know, me personally in Formula One, you know, being the only person of color there and racing all the way to Formula One, the only family of color was not easy. And luckily I had my dad to be there, who I knew understood what we both understood what we were going through. Thank God I had him to support me through that period of time. But yeah, I think it's just being really encouraging to people. And, you know, some people also feel like they don't know what to say, but that doesn't mean you should stay silent. And again, that should mean that you just go and learn for yourself. The information's out there.